Chag Sameach, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Temple Emeth and to our Erev Sukkot Service. We also call this service Bereshit Beginnings, and as part of tonight's service, we are going to have a special ceremony called Consecration. So it's our pleasure to have you joining us here in the sanctuary and many more people joining us on our live stream this evening. Bruchim Habaim, welcome. I have just a couple of instructions to make sure everyone can follow along in the service. So first of all is that the booklet we'll be using tonight looks like this. It's called the Bereshit Beginnings booklet. If you're here in the sanctuary, hopefully you have one, and if you forgot to get one, it is on the table just outside the sanctuary doors. If you're joining us on live stream, you can access this Siddur as a PDF. You can go to either our live stream page at emeth.org/livestream or our High Holy Days page, and you will see a link to the Bereshit Beginnings booklet. And we hope that you'll click through to that, preferably on a second device, and you'll be able to follow along with everything on live stream this evening. You'll see all of our prayers and all of our songs. So we hope you'll do that. Next is, if you are watching us on live stream, now is an opportunity for you to post in the comments or chat section of the live stream platform. That way we know who's out there, especially if you'll do me a favor and post your name or your location. That way you'll be able to identify yourself and feel part of our virtual community this evening. And for those of us here in the sanctuary, please take a moment right now to make sure that your cell phones are turned off. In the past, they have rung at very important times of the service, and so you're forewarned that here at Temple Emeth, if your cell phone rings during the service, it's our custom to find the owner of the cell phone and point at them and laugh. So don't let that happen.
I missed that line, Rabbi. I'm so glad you
but
brought
we're
it back.
We are back.
Thank you.
Cantor.
That's awesome.
All right. So we are going to begin our service this evening with the lighting of our festival candles. And so for the honor of lighting our festival candles, it's my pleasure to call upon Yosh Gonia and Eric Zaretsky.
These festival candles remind us that light does not always come automatically into our lives. Sometimes we must be the source of light to ourselves and those around us. The Torah is also called a light because it can shine and bring hope to all who study its words. May the light of these candles bring hope and joy to all at this special time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov. You want to do it?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel yom tov.
The next blessing in our service is the Kiddush for a festival. That is found in our Bereshit Beginnings booklet on page 2. And the festival Kiddush will be led for us this evening by Joe Denenzon and Yulia Ziskel. Please rise for the Kiddush. Step right up. I'll put my mask. Yes.
At this season, we acknowledge the many blessings which the earth gives us. We conclude the harvest before winter arrives and begin the cycle of life that will sustain us next year and beyond. We mark this beginning with sweetness that comes from grapes. The words we say thank God for all we have and remind us that we must share it with others.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri chagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'am v'romemanu mikol lashon v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ahava moadim l'simcha chagim uzmanim l'sason et yom chag hasukot hazeh zman simchatenu mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim umo adei kodshecha b'simcha uv'sason hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Yisrael ve'hazmanim Amen l'chaim.
We remain standing now as we turn in our Bereshit Beginnings booklet to page 4. And at the top of page 4, we find the Baruch Hu. The Baruch Hu is it's the call to prayer. It's the announcement that we have gathered here to do something significant, that is to pray to God. Please join us in the Baruch Hu.
Yalla la 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 la. La 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevarach. Baruch Adonai hamevarach, hamevarach le'olam ba'ed. Hamevarach, hamevarach le'olam ba'ed.
New beginnings are all around us. Each evening is a new beginning, and the stars and the full moon show that God has an order to the universe. Each Sukkot is a new beginning, when, upon completing the harvest, we look forward to enjoying the bounty and plan ahead for a fruitful year. And each word of the Torah we study is a new beginning, for the Torah has the power to bring holiness into our lives. The Torah gives us the ability and the wisdom to make the world a better place.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue now at the bottom of page 4 with a responsive reading. That means that I'll read part of the prayer and then you guys read the next part and back and forth. The universe began with God's love. God loved us enough to create us in the divine image. Now we can repay that love with our good deeds. We show love to God when we study the Torah. We show love when we are kind to one another. The Jewish people began their special relationship with God at Mount Sinai. Before they arrived at the foot of the mountain, they learned about God through great miracles. The greatest miracle of all, the one that helped them understand that their God was unlike any other, was when the sea divided and they were able to escape from slavery in Egypt. When they realized that something had happened to them that had never happened before, they sang this song of wonder.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ay la la ya la 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 mi khamocha ba'ili madonai mi kamocha neta b'kodesh norati hilot osefele Norati hiloto sefele.
We take some time now to pray silently, but before our moment of silence, I wanted to mention to you one of the commandments about Sukkot. So one of the commandments about Sukkot is V'samachta b'chagecha v'hayita ach sameach. And what that means in English is, you shall be happy on your holiday, meaning this holiday of Sukkot. In fact, you should be nothing but happy. You should be only happy, exclusively happy. Well, I think that's a tall order to push out all of the other emotions and leave only happiness in our lives. But even if it's not quite possible to do, it's a great thing to aspire to, a great thing to reach for. And so during this silent prayer, as we welcome in Sukkot, I hope that you'll take a moment or two to think of the things that make you happy and the things that you're grateful for that we can celebrate on this Sukkot. We take a few moments now for silent prayer. Well, immediately prior to our service this evening, a number of our religious school families went into our sukkah for a religious ritual that we call pizza in the hut. And so they got a chance to spend time in our beautiful sukkah, which is one symbol of this holiday. And we said the blessing for spending time in the sukkah, which is one blessing for this holiday. But equally as important as being in the sukkah and saying the blessing for the sukkah is the Lulav and the Etrog. And so I want to take a moment to explain these symbols so that you will have a little bit of background and you'll be able to join us in the blessing. And then if you are here in person tonight, you will have a chance to shake the Lulav yourself after our service. We'll go back in the sukkah, and anyone who wishes to do this mitzvah will have the chance to do that. So, the Lulav and the Etrog, the way I say it, it sounds like it's two different things, right? The lulav and the etrog. But if you look closely at it, and we'll take a moment right now to do that, it's actually 4 different things. And I'll tell you the names in Hebrew because it's important to know. So this one in the middle is palm, and it is also called lulav. So it can be a little bit confusing. Sometimes lulav refers to just the tall one. Sometimes when you hold all 3 of them together, it's also called lulav, but it's just, for right now, it's the tall one in the middle. That's palm. On my right and your left is myrtle, which is called hadass in Hebrew. And there are always 3 of them. Why? I'll tell you. I don't know. But there are always 3 of them. 1 lulav, 3 hadass. And on the left, my left, your right, is arava. Arava is known in English as willow. And there's always 2 willows. I will refer you for the reason why there's 2 willows. I will refer you to the same reason why there are 3 hadass. You know that by now. And there is the etrog. So the etrog, I think of all 4, this is the one that nobody really uses the English name. In English it's called a citron. Isn't that a car in Italy? No, never mind. Okay, anyway, in English it's called a citron, but don't bother with the English name. It's called an etrog. And an etrog, you can tell, looks like a lemon, but it's not a lemon. It is a cousin of the lemon, but it is much bumpier on its skin than a regular lemon. And this is the important part, because an etrog, in theory, could be just fine if it didn't have bumps. However, an etrog, to serve this ritual function, must have this little pointer thingy. Can you see the little pointer thingy? I don't want to touch it, because if I accidentally touched it too hard and it broke off, that would be bad for our holiday observance. So the little pointer thingy is called a pitom. And can you see that, live stream people? There's the pitom. It's camera 1 right there. All right, so I have now explained to you all 4 parts: the lulav, the hadass, the arava, the etrog, and we are now ready for the blessing. So please turn to page 6 for the blessing, and Cantor Tillman is going to lead us in the blessing, and then I will show you how we shake the lulav.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat lulav. Then we're going to say together the Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
And now we shake the lulav in 6 directions. First in front of you, and then to one side as you go to the right, then over your shoulder, that represents behind you, and then to the other side, and then shake it high, and then shake it low, and then this is the Rabbi serve you. Additional step is you smell the etrog and see how fragrant it is. It's a good one. It's a good one. I left it out of the fridge for a few hours, so it would smell a little bit better. Okay, so thank you, Cantor, for leading us in the blessing. And as I mentioned, everyone will have a chance to shake the lulav and smell the etrog in our sukkah after the service. We are going to continue now with our Bereshit Beginnings consecration ceremony. This is a ceremony that honors and celebrates our newest religious school students. And it is not just a celebration of these students, but it is a celebration of the important mitzvah of Jewish education. And who better to talk about the mitzvah of Jewish education than Temple Emeth's Jewish educator? Now, on her resume, it might say Dora Geld Friedman, but to everyone here at Temple Emeth, she is known basically as Mora Dora, the Torah Explorer. Welcome, Dora, to the Bima to begin our consecration.
Chag Sameach. We welcome all our consecrants, families, and Temple Emeth congregation and guests to our Consecration Service and Sukkot Service. You know, we have an interesting custom among many others on Sukkot. We invite into our sukkah honored guests, our ancestors, like Abraham and Sarah. We kind of model what they did when they were in the desert and invited people into their tent. It's a very big mitzvah to do the mitzvah of inviting guests. And we also invite into our metaphoric sukkah, as we're standing here, our consecration families and the students. I am deeply honored and very excited to invite our consecrants to the bima to receive the sweetest gift of all, the gift of Torah, the holy Torah that brings holiness to our souls, bodies, and homes. So, we're going to start with calling up the names of our consecration students. Katie Blitz. Ariana Denenzon. Sure. Samantha Levin. Ellie Racinos. And Madeline Skiana.
Stay socially distant. So Ellie, how about right here, and Madeline right in the middle, and Ariana right here next to the cantor, and you can face me. Okay. This is a special moment not only for these three young women, but also for their families. And so at this time, I would like to ask the parents of these children to please turn to, well, we can all turn to page 8, and I would like to ask the parents of these children to turn to the top of page 8 and to please rise. So right now just the parents can rise, and everyone else can help the families soak in the moment, and then in just a minute I'm going to ask everybody to rise. So parents of these three children, I invite you to read with me at the top of page 8. We give thanks for the gift of our children who have been entrusted to us as a sacred responsibility. May we find wisdom to raise them in the tradition of the Jewish people, the tradition of learning and obligation, of love and good deeds. May this be a moment of consecration for us no less than for our children, for we too need to learn Torah and live it. O God, let such joy as we feel now be with us always, as we seek the path of life and goodness for ourselves and our loved ones. And now I'm going to ask the whole congregation to rise. And so what I want to say to the three of you, I don't want to spoil anything, but you have something really cool in that gift bag, okay? I mean, you'll look at it in a minute, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It's your own little Torah, okay? And I'm telling you this right here standing in front of Temple Emeth's own big Torahs. We have 7 Torahs. Each one has a name that I've given it. Each one has all the same words, though. It's the words that our ancestors have cherished for generations, going all the way back to Mount Sinai. And so whether you are here looking at these big Torahs, or at home looking at the little Torah that we've just given you, or in your classroom learning words of Torah from your teachers and your classmates and others, Torah is a blessing. And it is a blessing that your parents understand. That's why they have brought you to the Temple Emeth Religious School. And it's a blessing that I hope you will feel frequently as a student here, as you learn more, as you grow more, as you see the importance of the Torah and of Jewish lessons and Jewish values in your lives. And so in honor of this special occasion, Cantor Tillam and I would like to offer this blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine down upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's Spirit lift you up, and may God give you shalom, the gift of peace, now and always. And let us say, Amen. Okay, so we're going to close the ark, but don't go anywhere, because this is the moment that your parents maybe, but definitely temple photographer Barbara Balkin has been waiting for. So come step right up to the edge of the first step. Okay, right here.
Come, sweetheart. Oops.
Step to the right.
Right in the middle, okay? That's perfect. Okay, let me help you with this so that, there, just leave it just there, okay?
And so we'll take everyone with their masks still on. And
That's no good. Hold on.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so everyone has to look at Barbara and look at her camera. Okay, and now if your mom and dad said it was okay before, you can take your mask off just for a second, just for a good look at your face while Barbara takes the picture. Okay, you can put your mask back on, and you can go back to your seats. Mazel tov to our consecration students, and everyone may be seated. So I do want to mention that just like the words in our real Torahs up in the Ark are all the same, each one of those Torahs that you received, they're all exactly the same, because the words of the Torah don't change. Our interpretations grow and evolve, but the words remain the same. However, each of our students also received an envelope. Those are customized for each student, and inside is a certificate that attests to the fact that this was consecration. But also inside is a gift certificate for Camp Harlem, which is a camp that Temple Emeth is affiliated with in the Poconos. And we love sending students to Camp Harlem, and Camp Harlem makes it a little bit easier by giving each one of you a $200 gift certificate, good toward your first summer at Camp Harlem. And if you would like to learn more about Camp Harlem, you can ask me. You can ask our new choir assistant, Emma. She's a camper at Camp Harlem. Or you can ask Talia Serbiu. She is a Camp Harlem camper, though she was in Israel this year with her Camp Harlem friends. She's in our live stream control booth, but they all love talking about Camp Harlem and would love to tell you that you would have a good time there too. We're going to move next to our new honorees. Well, I say new because this is a new part of our service that we've never done before, which is to honor our 6th and 7th graders with a new Siddur. Now, each of them already has a Siddur, or should have a Siddur, that we gave to them a little bit earlier in their education, probably in the 4th grade. A Siddur is a prayer book, and the Temple Emeth Siddur looks like this. It's called Mishkan Tefillah, and we've had the Siddur, I think, since 2007. So in 15 years, it's become pretty familiar to us. And you may have noticed over the course of these 15 years that all of the prayers are in Hebrew, and all of the Hebrew is also in transliteration, in English letters. Well, at Temple Emeth, we took some time in this past year to review the way that we teach Hebrew. We hired a consultant. We wanted to hear lots of ideas. We wanted to make changes that we knew would make Hebrew learning easier, but would also meet the needs of our temple family. And one of the changes that every consultant I talked to spoke about was, when you're learning Hebrew, when you're in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade and you're learning Hebrew, having transliteration is a bad idea. Because as English speakers, our eyes are always going, even me, and I've learned a lot of Hebrew, but I'm an English speaker, our eyes are always going to drift to the transliteration, and our brains are never really going to look at the Hebrew letters the way that they should. And if we want to give the most opportunity to our students to learn Hebrew, we have to give them Hebrew without transliteration next to it. And so our 6th and 7th graders have been invited here tonight to receive a new Siddur. It looks almost exactly like this Siddur, but with 2 changes. The first change is there's no transliteration in the book, and therefore you have to look at the Hebrew letters. And if you're having trouble with the Hebrew letters, you gotta work at it, and you can't just look at the transliteration instead. And the other difference is that this book is like a navy blue, and the book that you're about to receive is like a royal blue. So you can tell the difference on the outside, what exactly is on the inside. And we hope that as you prepare for Bar Bat Mitzvah, as you prepare for confirmation in the 10th grade, as you refer to your Siddur for things like the Hanukkah blessings or the Sukkot blessings or the Havdalah blessings, other things that a Siddur has that we turn to from time to time, we hope that that you will continue to use this new Siddur and the Hebrew knowledge that you have learned and will continue to learn at Temple Emeth. And so it's my pleasure to call again on Morador, this time to invite our 6th and 7th graders to the Bima for their non-transliterated Siddurim.
Again, it is my pleasure and honor to invite our wonderful 6th and 7th graders to receive their new Siddurim. Thank you, Marla. Okay. When I call your name, come to the Bima. Right there. Yes. Marcos Pinones. Gabriel Snyder. Xander Zaretsky. Max Denenzong. Joshua Gomez. Kevin Nagin. Thomas Pinones. Acharon Chaviv. Liat Swade.
And Liat. Okay, great. Come, turn around, face us. Okay, you can sort of make a semicircle so you're all spread out. Okay, yes, that's good. Okay, and then everybody take half a step this way. Half a step this way. Okay, great. At the family service earlier this month, I read a story called The Language of Angels, because it's our tradition that there are lots of languages in the world, and there are lots of languages that the Jewish people speak, but there's only one language of the Torah, and there's only one language that binds the Jewish people all over the world together, and that language is Hebrew. And we're so pleased that we have improved our Hebrew teaching methods here at Temple Emeth. We are pleased that you have a new tool to learn Hebrew, and we hope that, that you will use it frequently. But most of all, we're pleased that you have made the commitment to learn something that's really important to the Jewish people, and that is prayer. So we hope that you will use these Sidurim, these prayer books, in good health for a long time, not just when you're in class and not just preparing for your bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, but on many occasions. And so in honor of this special moment, Cantor Tillman and I would like to offer this blessing. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine down upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May God's Spirit lift you up, and may God give you shalom, the gift of peace, now and always. And let us say, Amen. Okay, we also get to pose for a picture, so there's 8 of you. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Do me a favor and take 3 steps down. And the rest of you, wait a minute. Okay, and the rest of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, stay on this top step. And that's good. Hang on a second. Wait, you're too take 1 more step down. Good. And then you guys in the front row move this way. You're kind of all, take a step right there, step right there, step right there. Okay. How are we doing, Barbara? Okay, and then you have to hold your Sidurim up in the right direction. So it can't cover your face, but we have to be able to see the title. You've done it. Let me get in my spot. Morador, you're standing too far back. Come stand here. Okay. All right, 1 with masks on, and then a quick one for those who are allowed to take their masks off. Okay, if you're allowed to take your mask off, we're going to do this quickly. Okay, masks back on. Mazel tov to all of our 6th and 7th graders. Okay, oh, this is yours. Let's see. No, here's mine. Okay, so we are about to continue with our concluding prayers, which are found on page 9. But before we do, I have just a few announcements. And they are announcements directed to this group of people, our religious school families. So first of all, you've gathered here on a Monday night to celebrate a festival. Guess what's happening next Monday night? We're going to celebrate a festival. Tonight's festival is Sukkot. Next Monday night at 6:30, we hope you'll come back here for the festival of Simchat Torah. And here are the things you need to know about Simchat Torah. It's going to be socially distanced like tonight, so young children who aren't yet vaccinated are welcome. Our young people who are singing are going to sing tonight, and they're going to sing next week at Simchat Torah, so you'll be able to hear their sweet voices again next Monday night. And next Monday for Simchat Torah, we are going to have a COVID-friendly version of the famous Temple Emeth Simchat Torah candy bar. Now, in pre-COVID days, the candy bar, you could just grab handfuls of candy and stick them in a bag. Well, unfortunately, the whole grabbing handfuls thing doesn't work anymore. But we have a Temple member, Joy Furshine. She is preparing baggies of candy for each child who will be here on Simchat Torah next Monday. And so you'll be able to enjoy that. We'll keep our fingers crossed for good weather, in which case we can go back out into the sukkah and enjoy our candy oneg together. And all of that is happening next Monday at 6:30. And then we have our next family service. Family service is the first Friday of the month. It's part of our religious school curriculum. And Maura Marla's class is going to be preparing something to present at our October. It's okay, Maura Marla, if nobody told you yet. Trust me. November? Okay. So in November, at our November Family Service, Maura Marla's class is going to present something fantastic. In October, on Friday night, October 1st at 7:30. grades 3 and 4 are going to present something at our family service, and the choir's going to sing again. I mean, it might be the same songs each time. We'll see. However, every time they sing, it sounds new to me, so it's okay if it's the same song. And so we hope to see you at both of those services next Monday and then Friday, October 1st at 7:30. And, you know what we do at every service? We thank the volunteers in the live stream control booth, because we have lots of people who enjoy watching us on live stream, and we cannot do that without acknowledging our volunteers who have agreed to be trained and then agreed to show up for services. So tonight's volunteers are Talia Serbiu and Amanda Eastman, so we thank them. And if you would like to be volunteered to be a live stream volunteer, please see me, and I will put you in touch with the person who can train you and put you on the schedule. And I guess our final announcement is that at the end of our service, we'll be gathering in the sukkah. There will be grape juice, there will be apples, and we will say the motzi together when we get out to the sukkah, so that we have a blessing to say, and we can say the blessing for being in the sukkah one more time. We are going to continue now on page 9 of our Bereshit Beginnings prayer booklet with the Elenu. Please rise for the Elenu. Elenu l'shabeach la'adon hakol. Let us now praise the Creator of all, who made us protectors of the earth and teachers of Torah. You are our God, there is none else.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Every beginning is an ending, and every ending is a beginning. When someone we love dies, we begin to miss them. We try not to forget them by telling stories about them and saying prayers to honor their memory. Even when people we love die, we continue to love them. Saying Kaddish is a symbol of that love that lasts forever. Please join me on page 10 as we say the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Alenu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. So at this time, it is my pleasure to call forward the students who have been rehearsing with Cantor Tillum for our closing songs. So they're also known as Eitz Chaim. That's the name of our junior choir. So I'd like to invite our Eitz Chaim singers to come to the bima, and the cantor will set you up.
I promise.
Go ahead.
Aloha.
Really? There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So remember your spots, and remember you guys talked a little bit about scriptures. Arya, I'm going to put you here. And you guys move down. Good. Gentlemen, there's more of you now, so let me move. Let's see. You're good. You're good, Xander. Move up. You're fine. You're actually fine, Mr. Jimenez. Okay, good. Great. Looks good. Yeah, we're going to try and, well, you don't want to get just one. Let's see how we do. Okay, this is so that the people at home can hear you guys, okay? Okay, so first we're going to sing our sukkah song, okay? And the reason I didn't give you sheets is because I'm only going to do the one verse, and then we'll do all the parts, which are awesome. Okay? You ready? Ready? This is what we need.
This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday.
One more time, let me hear you.
This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday.
First we build a frame with wood and cover it with branches. Lots of fun to do. But don't forget that we must see the sky peeking at us through the roof. Let me hear you guys.
This is what we need to build a sukkah.
Oh my gosh.
Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this
Do
holiday.
once more. Let's see if everybody learned it.
This is what we need to build a sukkah. Wood and branches, hammer and nails. This is what we need to build a sukkah for this holiday.
Excellent job. That was great. And to conclude our service, we want to sing the words of the blessing, Shehachianu, which thanks God for bringing us to this wonderful, wonderful, blessed time in our lives.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'eheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'eheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
Here's your part, the Amen part. Ready? One more Amen. Let me hear you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and Yasher Kalach. So I'm gonna ask our older kids to go back to your families. Our honorees wearing the crowns, you get to stay right here because you get to lead us to the sukkah. This is another one of the ways that we honor you and the beginning of your Jewish education. So our three honorees with crowns are going to stick around. And the cantor and I'm going to grab your Lulav, cantor, and the cantor and our consecration students are going to be the first, but then we hope that you will follow us straight out into the sukkah as we continue our celebration with Motzi. For those of you watching us at home, we're about to end, but I hope that you will post one more greeting in the chat or comment section. Perhaps you can say Mazel Tov to an individual student that you were watching for tonight, or maybe just Mazel Tov and Chag Sameach to all of our students.
Oh, good. Go ahead. Mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, Yehelanu. Come on, guys, come with me.